Baby, you understand me now. If sometimes you see that I'm mad.
Man, the angel, the Nephilim, the Eurasian, the Caucasian, and the Asian. The chosen one. The bird one. The sun. Look, this all on the Confederate side. Look, eagle biting a snake. What's that, the Mexican flag? Come on, man. Understand what's going on, man. These bird people. That's why they so high and mighty. You know, high and mighty like a bird. You know, birds of heaven. They're not of earth. That's why they don't relate to us, and that's why they destroy earth. They are birds of heaven. God found water so he can create an air pocket for you air bird people. Air fire bird people. You know, remember it was all water and darkness. All water and darkness mean all sea creatures. Then bird people popped up, birdmen. The tribe of Dan is the tribe of bird. The tribe of Dan is the tribe of the eagle bird. Eagle bird man, the angel, the Nephilim.
Today, we'll be diving into some deep secrets about your magical leprechauns. These little people would originate from the continent of Africa, and they would be your Twa tribe. Sometimes they would be called Pygmies. These little Twa people would be one of the oldest tribes of Africa. And right here, we are looking at an ancient shaman, and he was one of the most powerfulest chiefs in the whole Africa. Now, if you look at his name, it is Credo Mutwa. The last 3 letters of his last name would be Twa. He is from the Twa tribe. And I'm telling y'all all of this because the Twa was your original leprechauns. He would be one of the originals. Now, the Twa people would originate from a god named Bes. This would be their ancestor. And in ancient times, the god Bes would rule over Egypt. So once upon a time, these little people had a voice, and they would rule and govern over the people. The Twa tribe job have finally came to an end, and they stopped working for the Egyptian government. And they would hop on a ship and sail from Africa to Ireland. So Ireland will become the new home for the leprechauns. They love magic, they love being out in nature, and they also love their music. So we have went from the Twa tribe to the leprechauns in Ireland. But here's another secret. Your Twa tribe isn't just connected to your leprechauns. They is also connected to the elves as well. If you realize it, the leprechaun and the elf is really short, and they have pointy ears. Now the Twa tribe have told me that this dwarfism and pointy ears that they have came from genetic splicing, and that your original leprechauns was genetically spliced from the Watusi tribe and the wild boar. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Your leprechauns, the Twa tribe, will have these same pointy ears. Now, if y'all don't believe me, go check out Credo Mutwa. He talked about how he was abducted by these advanced beings and how they did genetic experiments on his tribe of people. They would also be known as your Dogons. They talk about these new breeds of people, these Dogons, Syrians, and Nomos. This was all due to genetic engineering. So your little leprechauns or your elves was created to be these little helpers. This Twa tribe have traveled all over the planet. They used the Twa tribe to create a whole holiday. St. Patrick's Day is about your Twa tribe. Christmas, December 25th, that is about your elves. That is the Twa tribe. I hope y'all liked the lecture. Love and wholeness, family. Today, we'll be diving in. Today,
That's best. See the tar sticking out? Saturations in the eye? That's best. over the Americas, which shows us the Dwarves, which is the earliest peoples on this planet, who went to every continent before anybody you see there. The Dwarves, or what they call the Grimaldi. Now, this is Greece. See the tongue? It's uniform across the lands. That's best in Greece. See the saturations in the eye? You also see the almond-shaped eye. And you see the tongue sticking out. That's Kali in India. See the saturation? See the almond-shaped eye? See the tongue sticking out? That's Bess coming up out of the Nile Valley. That's documentation. Debate an artifact with an artifact. Don't bring no rhetoric to me. This is God. God is best. The God of medicine, God of music, God of peace and harmony. This is best. Okay? Matter of fact, I had to bring this out. And you see the little twat there dancing. And even in ancient Egypt, they show him he got a tambourine down at the right. Got a tambourine in his hand, and that little short Buddha is on. When you see the little short Buddha, he's nothing but the little short Ptah. That's all that he is. When you see that little short Buddha, that's all he is Ptah. You see him dancing? You see him dancing? Let me take it back. This is in Rome. You see the toit?
There are actually two Egypts.
Moses was a king of men.
The Pygmies culture in Africa. The African continent is the home to the majority of remote tribes. Among them is a unique African tribe with the shortest people in the world. The Pygmies, their average height is around 3.9 feet. The Pygmies are the shortest in the world. They are on average 35% shorter than the average human beings. Jimmy means dwarfish in Greek. There are nearly 120,000 Pygmies worldwide, but most live in Cameroon's rainforest. They also live in Gabon, Uganda, Angola, Rwanda, Namibia, Madagascar, Botswana, Burundi, Equatorial Guinea, Zambia, the Republic of Congo DRC, and the Central African Republic. They collect fruits, harvest spices and herbs, hunt animals like antelopes, gazelles, and more. They use their handmade weapons like stone arrows. In other words, their 9 to 5 are hunting and fishing in the...
Why is nobody talking about how part of Igbo ancestors we are all dwarfs? As an Igbo child, I hope you already know that part of our ancestors we are all dwarfs. This will help you honor the dwarfs you see around because you might have some part of their gene in your blood. The dwarf ancestors have intermixed with the giants and normal genes, but with time, due to their recessive gene, they are no longer numerous, which even led to their marginalization in ancient Nri. They were most of the present-day Aka and Bayaka people of the Congo Basin rainforest. During their marginalization, the then Nri granted them asylum in Nri, and all the Aka people living in Nri became known as Aka Nri. This is where the name Akanchi came out from, which means dwarf in Igbo language. Also note that they were the first priesthood of Bo era during Ogachi. Till date, most communities who uphold Ordinani would recount some rituals which are being performed by dwarfs only. Another painful history that happened in Afube Amici during the marginalization era, when the people became taller and began to hate the sights of dwarfs. Anybody who gives birth to a dwarf within Amici will return the child to Ora Eri, as that was the community within that area that still protected their interests and human rights. The segregation of dwarfs in today's society should be stopped, because when there is a big taboo in the land, it can only take a dwarf to use his autonomy and make atonement for such taboo. This is one of our history that has been swept under the carpet, but I wish to bring it to your notice in this video. This is to say that somewhere down your lineage, there is a dwarf Akanchi who gave life to your existence. The dwarfs Akanchi had superior knowledge of roads, and historic knowledge of the cosmos, and that is why they could achieve feats like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, bilocation, and even shape-shifting. Evidently, the Europeans knew about them, and many of them were unalive during the scramble for Africa. The surviving ones are deep inside the Congo rainforest, where the Aka and Bayaka people reside till date. This may sound unreasonable, but a conscious mind will connect the dots. Stop making mockery of dwarves as they are one of us. Know this and know peace. Some of the deities you worship today were all dwarves.
Here's another group that is always and forever neglected. The Pygmies of Africa. Always neglected and left out. So now explain this. Were Kushtic people not humans? Are Nilotic people not humans? Are the Khoi and the San not humans? Are the Moors, the Berbers not humans? Are Pygmies not humans? Are Aboriginal people of Australia not humans? How is it that we have all these groups that are African in a continent called Africa not referred to as humans, and only a select group is called Bantu? The concept of being Bantu is beyond just a language. It's an identification. It's an identification of the original sons and daughters of a continent now called Africa. The fourth word that's missing there is Isintu. Isintu is who we are at the core. It's mankind, it's cultural practices, it's tradition, it's humanity, it's religion, it's moral code, it's mankind. These words do not only apply to just a group of people of sub-Sahara. This applies to every original human being of Africa. Now, you know that there are groups in Africa that were not considered humans. For what? And to separate Africans all the time like that by saying, oh, you are this group and you are that group. Separating them from what? From being a Bantu? That's unacceptable. The people that are born in this continent are all Bantu people originally. Yes, they left the continent. Yes, they went in different directions and settled and went to the Nile River and went to the Horn of Africa and all of that, and developed new tribes, developed new languages, because that's what happens to a group of people who are hundreds and thousands of years old, being generous, thousands and thousands of years old. No matter how you cut this cake, if you go deep into the scholars, European scholars, if they're honest enough, even them will tell you and emphasize that their information is not precise, but just makes logical sense. Which begs the question, how with the European brain are you going to have a logical African perspective when you don't know our true core of who we are? Then that means that you are painting your own picture, just like they separate Nilotes from Bantu people as if we are not one people. Each and every group that comes from Africa is Bantu people.
The Eloko is a diminutive but deadly nature spirit, a folklore of the Mongol people of the Congo Basin. They are called the bell-bearing dwarves of the forest. You see, these enchanted guardians are protectors of the forest and its treasures, specifically palm oil and ivory. Despite being feared for their magical bells, what's even more fearful is their taste for human flesh. Many would describe it as insatiable hunger. Keep in mind, these creatures are no higher than a human knee or a waist, but they're still terrifying. And the bells they have, well, they put humans under a spell. You know, they put them to sleep or they enchant them. Now, obviously, if you don't want to be eaten, when you enter the forest, come with gifts. That's their love language. Like I said, if you don't, you will hear that bell. You'll either be paralyzed, sleep, or you'll go mad. If you don't bring gifts, you can use metal or fire, or you can not enter the forest either at dusk or dawn. So in the middle hours, you'll be fine. Ciao. The Eloko.
Did you know African pygmies don't exist? The term pygmy encompasses several distinct ethnic groups, including but not limited to the Mbuti, Aka, Baka, and Twa, which are distributed discontinuously across 9 different countries. Separated by geography, language, customs, and technology, the one characteristic that is common to them all is their disdain for the umbrella term pygmy, as, without exception, they prefer to be called by their appropriate ethnic name, and consider the moniker pejorative at best. While these groups do share some common traits, such as their generally shorter stature, which is thought to be an adaptation to their densely vegetated environment, allowing for, amongst other things, easier movement through the undergrowth, they also have unique cultural practices and adaptations specific to their particular regions within or around the Congo Basin. The forest people.
This young man get it. Listen to the.
Did you know African?
I set this video for you guys. This video about worlds within the worlds, about the underworld and who ruled the underworld by Deborah Blair. Of course, once again, this man here is. His studies and his teachings is just practically unmatched. So basically he's talking about the oldest civilization to ever exist on the planet, which are the Negrito people. They was not Negro, they wasn't African, they were black people, but they were dwarfs. And for some of the research that I have found, the Negrito people left people here behind. You know, there's so much I could say. So much history on the Negrito people. It's in the cartoons. It's in, they call them the Leprechaun people, guys. Like, you got to do your own research. I don't want to have to go through the whole spiel about what is what. Just do your own research. Watch The Wizard of Oz. It's pretty interesting. You'll find some things in there. So yeah, basically he's talking about the worlds within the worlds, how the archaeologists would find the Negrito people all over the world. Of course, once again, they are the oldest civilization to ever exist on this planet. It's quite interesting because he talks about how in the underworld that there were these cage cities. Let's just watch the video. I hope you guys get something out of this.
The world within is said to be an area of Earth that they don't talk about, and that there is more livable space inside our planet than on its surface. The problem comes about is that supposedly there are creatures or things living down there already, and have been for centuries. They say that there are cities down there. Some of the cities are no longer habitable, others are actually inhabited. Getting into who lives there and why and all this takes, again, a whole lesson that you can see by this sheet. Down there also are very advanced machinery. And it's been said from time to time, advanced scientists there have set on the surface people and things to see how they make out from time to time. Now, all of that is talking about the world within. What I tried to do before we jump to that big jump that we just did was to show you how it could be formed, how long it might be there, and that it is very extensive and very expansive. And you can go to any continent on our earth, and down somewhere you start running to one of these tunnels, one of these cities, one of these caves. The cave world depletes or makes small the world here. The Egyptians tried to show that. The Nubians tried to show that. All ancient people, which they now refer to as Sumerians. If you understand, Sumer had to be part of Mesopotamia 1. And if you go back there, you see that the people who had to be living there had to be dark-skinned people. And these were people who knew these things. This is why when you begin to do research on the Negrito, you will find he is the most ancient person found on earth. I didn't say anything about Negro or any African. I said Negrito. It's a little black dwarf. And this little black dwarf seemingly has been set or made to inhabit. It's the best prototype that could be made at the time. Any part on earth that you go to, no matter what the continent, no matter what the culture, no matter what the religion, no matter what the site, no matter what the people look like now, anywhere you go on earth and you start to do digs, and you go down archaeologically to the petrol and so on, you will find the little black dwarf or people living there, the ancestors of the people that are now inhabiting it, that look like Negritos. What does a Negrito look like? 3 to 4 foot tall, small person, very similar lobe, long head, peppercorn or nappy meaty hair, and broad negroid face, features. This is your most ancient man, no matter what continent. You don't have to go to Africa. You can go to Europe, which isn't even a continent. You can go to Asia. You can go to Antarctica, Arctica, wherever you want to go. And you will find the remnants of the Negrito. Which means that if this person was everywhere on the surface, how did he get? How did she get everywhere on the surface? They were intelligent, but obviously not intelligent enough to do what the things that have been found alongside them. I say they were a prototype, placed here from people living in the underworld and extraterrestrials. Keep in mind again how I started this. Extraterrestrial is one who looks somewhat like you, meaning has a head, arms, legs, and a trunk, and usually stands erect. An alien is what? Anything that is intelligent. If it's a bug, like we just saw in what is this movie they had out there, Men in Black, okay? If it's any kind of thing, as long as it's intelligent.
You ever notice how there's a lot of legends and stories and animated stories about little people like elves and dwarves and leprechauns? And even when you see one rarely in real life, you're like, oh shit, a midget! Now believe it or not, but the mere concept of this real life Smurf-like culture originates about a tribe of African pygmies called Batwa.
A semi-nomadic tribe of hunter-gatherers. This is a group of indigenous African pygmies with an average height of 1.5 meters. These tribes were scattered across equatorial Africa.
Here it says that in ancient times, the Batwa were believed to have supernatural or magical powers. And one of the cultural influences that the Twa had was the fact that they were known for their hair, which many grew into locks that looked like snakes. Ironically, the snakes that St. Patrick drove out of Ireland.
St. Patrick's Day.
And many is familiar with the saying that at the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. But the truth of the matter was that the Twa was mystics, and they could activate this as the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
And this was the gold.
I'm be damn.
Modern science teaches that all of the continents on the earth were
so-called pale people. That is a falsehood. That's a fallacy. This is my grandma, so-called Blackfoot/Irish. This is my grandma. And for those that believe that blue eyes came from so-called pale people, that is a falsehood.
Or a legend that allegedly originates from the Mongol people of Congo. I wasn't told the person, like I said, I came across it while I was doing my research, but I can confirm that Eloko, or Biloko in plural, means thing, and they're basically like these dwarf-like creatures. Some people say they're ancestors that have come back for revenge. Other people say that they're like these little trolls, but the most common notion is that they eat human beings, that they're cannibalist creatures. And then there's this illustration right here, which is quite creepy. Another part of the story that I can confirm that I've heard before is this idea that hunters need to go inside the forest with some sort of spiritual protection. That I've heard of a lot in a lot of stories that my aunt used to tell me. It's this idea that there are so many different forms of evil that hunters need some sort of protection.
Mother's milk is often used.
Protection from the god.
Bes was an ancient Egyptian deity known for his unique and unconventional appearance. He was typically depicted as a dwarf with a lion's mane, sometimes wearing a feathered headdress, a plumed tail, and often dancing or playing a musical instrument. Bes was a household god and a protector, and he played a significant role in Egyptian life and mythology. Bes was primarily associated with the home and served as a god.
Do you know who Bes is? Bes is an ancient Egyptian god or spirit of love, domestication,
protection.
That's Bes. Ancient Egyptian god Bes, factual plus engaging. In ancient Egypt, Bes was a protective deity strongly connected to home and family life.